I gave my mom a luxury car for her birthday, but at night I heard the nanny complaining to my boyfriend. Today is also my birthday. She only send her mom, not send me. When you get married cannot let her so supporting her own family. Why would a woman her age drive such a nice car? She might as well give it to me. Son, why don't you just get her pregnant earlier? But I remember. My boyfriend said he had no father or mother and was willing to treat my mom as his own. The next day, I saw my boyfriend change my vitamins to prenatal vitamins on the surveillance monitor. 01 My mom likes to race cars, so I gave her a customized luxury car on her birthday. Before she had a chance to say anything, Nanny Susan jumped in, eyes full of disapproval. Why did you buy this kind of car? This kind of car is just good looking, not practical at all. Return it before you have used it. Don't waste your money. The atmosphere of joyful exaltation was swept away, and everyone else quieted down. Susan, who hadn't noticed, shoved my cell phone, which was on the table, into my hand. What are you waiting for? Call. If you're late. What if they don't agree? You young people know consumption, do not know careful budgeting. I pulled down the face. Anyone who gives his mother carefully prepared gifts by a nanny so overstepped the boundaries of the treatment will not be happy. I didn't want to upset my mom on a good day, so I immediately put my cell phone into my bag. Mom, car keys for you. You quickly try. See if you like it. Mom was very facetious and got into the car. Before I turned around to face Susan's face that was as black as the bottom of a pot, I was about to reprimand her, when John, the driver, came over, reeking of alcohol and red in the face. I took another look. The bottle of red wine on the table that was specially bought back to celebrate a few tens of thousands of dollars a bottle had already been opened. Directly missing most of the bottle, John waved his big hand, more like a master than me. Xiao, your Susan didn't mean this. It's because she treats you as a family that she would say something like this. But your Susan is also right. To buy a car, this kind of thing, there must also be a man to take the idea to work. Have you discussed with Zihang? Jason is my boyfriend, but it's my money that's spent on the car. And it's also me, Lin Xiao, who pays their salaries. I never spend money so that people can ride over my head. Enough. I spoke directly and interrupted him, frowning. I can spend my money however I want. Susan, just do your job as a babysitter and don't cross the line. John, you're the driver. Should you be drinking? Besides, that's the wine I bought. Should you move it? Next time full compensation. Today is my mom's birthday. Anyone else who doesn't understand what their duties are, leave immediately. I've always been generous, and my salary and benefits have never been at the highest standard. Hearing my words, everyone else nodded in agreement, except Susan and John, who stood still with red faces. I knew I was undercutting them with those words, but my failure to do so today would only cause them to follow suit. Just then Mom finished her test drive and got out of the car with a happy face. Thank you, baby. Mom especially likes your gift. Let's go inside and eat. Mom is a little hungry. Mom gently took my shoulder, directly skipped the two standing like wood. Smart as my mom. Of course she knew my intention, but no matter in the company or at home, she respected my decision. After what happened just now, Susan was quiet when the food was served, and didn't like to talk as much as usual. The wine on the table was also removed and replaced with stock from home. The only sounds during the meal were my mom and I talking and laughing, as well as the sound of dishes clashing. Xiao, Auntie, I'm late. This is the gift I prepared for Auntie. I hope she likes it. Jason, my boyfriend, gave my mom a gift and flowers, and sat down next to me. Jason's family is not well off, and he has no father or mother, but he has never had an inferiority complex. We have been classmates since junior high school. I have the intention to help. He often came to my house to eat and write homework. And then we came together is also a waterfall. Not too late. Not too late. Sit down and have a bowl of soup first. The company is very busy lately, right? Mom was also very happy with Jason, and treated him as a family member. Jason took the soup from Susan. And also noticed something wrong with Susan. Susan, what's wrong? If there's anything you need help with, just ask. I'll help if I can. He was always like this, gentle and kind, able to mingle with everyone. Susan shook her head, but her eyes were red. Her voice was also a bit choked. She looked at her mom and then at me, as if she was being bullied. Thank you, young master, for your concern. I'm fine. I secretly frowned in the bottom of my heart. After this month is done, it's time to let her go. A nanny in an employment relationship who crosses the line can be said to see herself as part of the family and can be reminded of one or two things. But I will never allow someone who commits such provocative behavior to stay in the house. Meanwhile, I was secretly watching Jason's reaction. Is something going on at home? If that's the case, you can take 2 days off. Work and life are both important. Jason drank 2 mouthfuls of soup, and when he finished he came to a sudden realization. He cut off a big piece of cake from the table and gave it to Susan. I remember today is Susan's birthday. Happy birthday. That cake was made by me for Mom. It's all fruits that Mom likes. It's nothing to share a piece out. But before Mom could sing the happy birthday song or make a wish, a big piece of the cake had already been cut off and lost its original shape. Oops. How can this be good? Thank you, young master. I've never had such a good cake. Susan was there from the beginning to the end. Of course she knew that this cake was only taken out, but she didn't ask me or Mom. Instead, she joyfully thanked Jason. The displeasure in the back of my mind was getting heavier and heavier, almost to the point of pressing on. Mom gently patted my hand. Take it away together. It just so happens that I'm on a diet these days. In the next 2 days I'll make one with Xiao. The meaning is better. That's a good sentiment. Then I'll take it away. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, miss. Originally thought that this matter would be over, and I wouldn't see Susan again next month. Who knows? I slept until midnight when I got up to drink water. And only when I walked to the stairway did I see the light from the kitchen, and Susan's voice clearly and unmistakably reached my ears. Susan's voice came to me clearly. How much did that luxury car cost? Is it just a birthday? Why do you have to be so wasteful? I didn't care, but people are still gossiping behind my back. I was about to go out and catch them in the act and fire them, when the next moment, Susan Harsh's voice rang out again. Today is also my birthday, and I got rid of it with a cake. That's not insulting. I don't care. When you guys get married, you can't let her support her own family like this. John also chimed in. Loser bitch. Wasting money just like her mom. A woman her age driving such a nice car. Why don't you give it to me, son? Why don't you just get her pregnant earlier? I was in a state of shock. The family has always had a few nannies taking turns to live in the house. Even if Susan is there, why is John still there? Besides, what does this son mean? What does pregnancy mean? Bad thoughts were swirling in my mind, and as if to confirm my suspicions, the familiar gentle male voice sent chills down my spine as if I were falling into an abyss. I'm already preparing for the proposal. Sooner or later, there's no rush. Jason's last name is Zhou, and I've never associated him with Susan and John. Because John always likes to preach paternalistic, it's hard to imagine that he would let Jason take the woman's last name. Now that I know, all those overlooked wrongnesses from the past are strung together. No wonder Susan and John always knew our likes and dislikes when they first started. I thought it was because they had more work experience, but it was because someone told them. No wonder Susan was playing the poor guy in front of Jason. but it turned out to be eye candy in front of her own son. My face should be described as ugly. The hand holding the cup kept locking up, pressing so hard that my fingertips turned white. I knew about Jason secretly preparing a proposal, but in order not to ruin the surprise, I never showed it. But I didn't realize that it wasn't a surprise. It was a conspiracy. What if she doesn't say yes? I think it's better to make 2 preparations. If she's pregnant, she'll have to marry you. John's voice was cold, as if it were a poisonous snake, twisting up from the bottom of his feet. Ahoo. I know. Hearing Jason's reply, my heart dropped to the bottom. After spending so many years with him, I thought I knew him, but today those past sweetness hit me like a slap in the face. He wasn't an orphan at all, and he even got someone under his nose and shoved them in my house. I wouldn't believe it if I said he didn't have something else on his mind. Taking a deep breath, I quietly went back to my room. I'd like to see if he would do this or not. If he was just coaxing his parents, I could give him the chance to confess. If he really did it, then I had to treat him as if he had ulterior motives and was deliberately approaching, and I definitely wouldn't be soft when it came to treating someone like that. In the early hours, Susan was beaming, as if yesterday's events hadn't affected her at all. Xiao, come and eat. Auntie told you girls can't just go after thinness. That will affect the children in the future. I sat down but didn't move anything on the table. I have the habit of exercising on an empty stomach. Usually Susan didn't say anything about it. Today this is because she thinks that Jason and I are on the verge of something, so she's making herself a mother-in-law first. Susan, after this month is done, you can leave. They'll give you your salary and compensation according to the contract. By what right? Susan's voice is sharp and high-pitched. The flesh on her face is shaking. Yes. Is it because of what happened yesterday? I'll never do it again. Really? Give me another chance. I shook my head, where I couldn't see the hatred in her eyes. Employment is a two-way choice. After this period of contact, I don't think it's appropriate for you to stay in my house. I will look for a new aunt next month. This is a notice, not a discussion. After saying that, I left the restaurant and prepared to go out for my morning run. Only after running far away did I turn on my cell phone. The home has always been monitored. Only my mom and I know. Usually there are ants in the house. Never anything happened. But I did not expect that the first time I watched it was because of Jason. The video. Susan went upstairs and knocked on Jason's room door. The two of them went to the balcony together. I put on the headset, and soon there came the clear voices of the two of them. Son, she's going to fire me. That little bitch. As a rule, she still has to serve me respect. Now that I'm cooking for her and serving her, she's not happy about it. Jason held his eyebrows, looking a bit headachy. Mom, you were impulsive yesterday. Xiao is the type that can't tolerate sand in her eyes. They'll talk to her. If it's not possible, you can just consider it a break. I was impulsive. You've been together for so many years. She's been slept with by you, right? Who else could she marry if not you? It'll be her mother-in-law sooner or later. What's wrong with saying a few words? If you two get married in the future, do I have to bow down? Susan started crying, gnashing her teeth and wiping her tears. Since you were in middle school, you've been staying at her house every day. I've kind of given up my son to her for so many years. They've taken such a big advantage of me. I'm just going through the motions of being a mother-in-law and I'm still wrong. Jason ate the same food as me in my house and enjoyed the same educational resources as me. Even after graduation, Jason joined my family's company with me. Without my mom and without me, Jason would have been able to achieve what he has today. In the eyes of this family, they are still at a disadvantage. Does he feel the same way? Jason frowned. His face was deeply unhappy. Mom, keep your voice down. Even if you want to be a mother-in-law, you have to wait until Xiao Xiao marries me. You've endured this for so many years. Can't you endure it a little longer? Xiao Xiao isn't stupid. If she finds out anything, it'll be halfway through everything. Being yelled at like this, Susan came to her senses and drooped her face without saying anything. Then am I still angry? To dismiss me for such a small matter. I have to work hard even without hard work, right? This little bitch's heart is really cruel. When you have grandchildren in the future, you can't let her bring them up. I don't know what she'll do with them. Susan called her a little bitch, but Jason didn't refute her once. That's what it's like to be in a relationship for so many years. I lowered my eyes and fished out my other cell phone to call Jason. The sudden ringing startled both of them into looking around, and when Jason was about to answer, I hung up again. Okay, it'll get her pregnant. Don't worry about it. After that, Jason's call came through. I responded haphazardly, saying I had 2 more laps to run and asked him to cook me a bowl of noodles according to the time. Jason sighed in relief and then took out what was in his pocket: prenatal vitamins. After double-checking, he replaced the vitamin tablets in my pill box. Today he would switch vitamins to prenatal vitamins because he wanted to marry me. So would he wordlessly switch me to something else in the future because I was in his way? I've never known Jason well enough to think about it. After I came back from my morning run, I wrote a shower and finally straightened out the thoughts in my head. Rolling hot temperature suddenly surrounded me from behind. The smell was familiar. It was my favorite smell once. I fried you eggs in coconut oil. Now go eat them. I nodded and obediently disengaged myself from his embrace. After eating, Jason puts the pill box in front of me and pretends to bring up Susan's business again. Susan said you were going to fire her. Xiao. Susan has done quite a good job. She is old. It's not good to go out and find a job. Why don't you? I was bitter in my heart, and straight away I felt that the coconut flavor that filled my mouth also became sickening. As soon as I slammed the pill box on the floor, the pills popped out of the box and scattered in all directions. I said quit and quit. You know how important my mom is to me, and I don't want any more unpleasantness on her next birthday, Jason. You said you treat my mom like she's your own mom, don't you? I stared at Jason intently, forcing him to nod his head. That's good. She crosses the line and talks too much. And she likes to stir up trouble, so it's better to dismiss her early. I thought she was an average cook, but she loves to clean. It's really not worth it to pay her so much. I really don't know whose unwanted mother-in-law came out to work. What bad luck. Jason's face has stiffened a bit, skimming over to the smattering of clothes at the kitchen door. I add more fuel to the fire. Zhihang, luckily your parents left a long time ago, and we don't have this kind of problem between us. If I had this kind of mother-in-law, I'd rather not marry you. I guess my husband is no good, and my son is useless. Why else would he come out to work at his age and still have no work ethic? Luckily, my mom's daughter is a good person. Just as I finished speaking, Susan rushed out from the kitchen and threw what she was holding towards me. I hurriedly blocked Jason in front of me, and the warm soup immediately landed on Jason. In my heart, I was happy, but on my face, I was angry. No. The one I'm going to splash is you, not young master. I. Susan saw her son being splashed. Her open teeth and claws immediately became at a loss. Such a good opportunity. Of course I couldn't let it go. Taking out his cell phone, he started to call the police. You dare to commit murder. I won't let you go. We definitely won't understand. While holding down Jason, who wanted to open his mouth to explain, he transformed into a screaming chicken, saying I won't listen to anything, but just keep calling the police. Now, Susan is not only the original compensation and wages do not want, but also have to lose money, but also bad reputation. No longer in this business cannot do. Jason grimaced in pain, but also busy to Susan pleading. Jason grimaced in pain, and was busy pleading for Susan. I couldn't let him get away with it, and greeted the others to separate Susan, then misinterpreted his meaning. Zihang, don't worry. I definitely won't let this murderer who hurt you get away with it. Are you still in pain? Let me blow on you. Okay. It's killing me. How dare this bitch be so arrogant just because she shares your last name? For those who know, she's our nanny. For those who don't, they think she's your mom. It's really too much. Just this one sentence. Jason froze. No longer dared to move, afraid that I pursued to find any end. Just kidding. The evidence is all there. Don't even need to expose the existence of the surveillance can be arrested people in. Cool. Really too cool. Such a big thing. A family of 3. How can the role of the father absent? So I called John on the spot. Today John is on vacation. Susan was taken away. Jason has been staying with me. Where would he know about Susan being taken away? When he came and saw Jason's appearance, he immediately panicked and immediately went up to check. This. What happened to young master? Which one of you has burned the young master like this? Do you want to die? Good scolding. That's right. It's Susan. John is a big man and doesn't take it seriously. But Susan even dares to retaliate. But John, don't worry. I've already let someone take him away. I definitely won't understand. I scolded while assisting Jason into the car. John, what are you waiting for? Quickly drive to the hospital. Zihang is injured. How can you not be concerned at all? Sitting in the back row, I could already see John's iron-colored face. You can't take it anymore. That's not good enough. I don't feel comfortable until this family of parasites is kicked out. Doesn't Susan usually love and respect the young master? Why would she do something like this? In less than 10 minutes, John couldn't hold it in. She tried to splash me with it, but Zihang blocked it. Luckily Zihang was there, otherwise I can't even imagine what would have happened. After I finished speaking, I was still teary-eyed and looked at Jason with a touched look on my face. Zihang, being with you is the best thing I've ever done. You're so good. Mom and I will be relieved. Who wouldn't know how to draw a cake? Sure enough, Jason, even though half of his face was red, he still tried to raise a smile at me with a look of deep affection. It's all what I should do. Only when I arrived at the hospital, the phone rang. It was my assistant calling. My face was complicated, biting my lips tightly. I left from the hospital after dropping a sentence that something came up at the company, asking me to pay Jason's medical bills. Yuck. I'd rather lose it than not. Well, Susan, you continue. Yes. I'm sending someone to check on Jason. And if we can find something at home. What about the company? When Dad died, I saw how hard it was for Mom to support the company all by herself. So I will never allow anyone to do anything bad to the company. Mr. Shaolin, from the identities of those 2 people you gave us to check, we found a few in the company that are related. However, they are employed mostly in logistics, and only 1 or 2 are in administration. Also, I found out that Jason seems to be building another small company in addition to his position at the company. The products and operational mechanisms are very similar to ours. I took a deep breath and looked at the information in my cell phone in a terrible mood. Jason has been in the company for only a short time and he has sent in so many people. On a smaller scale it was just connections to get a job, but that was without that small company. If Jason and I had gotten married, even with a notarized marriage, what if I had gotten pregnant and had to quit the company? And what if something happened to me? Or, what if he used Mom and Dad's company to feed his little company? Okay. Logistics check their work area. Administratives check the computer information. Report anything out of place at any time. Also, lower Jason's clearance. Keep an eye on his every move. Taking advantage of this opportunity, one gave Jason a vacation and said I was going on a business trip, leaving people at home. In reality, I was taking the opportunity to find out details that I had once overlooked. As long as a person exists, there must be traces. Jason said he had no father or mother, and even told his classmates so in high school. So I'd like to see how he'd explain such a big lie when the truth came out. Of course, I told my mom all of these things and reminded her to never be left alone and to have a bodyguard. Definitely not to let John drive. Better to stay at home. Also, I keep an eye on the home surveillance at all times so that I am always informed of their plans. Son, is she pregnant? John seems a little pushy, and I made a point of saying that we absolutely understand. And if Jason chooses to understand, then he'll know right away. Also, the part about the compensation, Susan couldn't afford to give it, so of course Jason, the son, paid it. But with this part of the compensation given, Jason bought me jewelry as soon as I inquired about it. No one understands this better than Jason. No, I didn't find the opportunity. Jason was full of bitterness, but remembering my attitude before I left, he swept away the gloom. I'm going to propose. It'll be fine once I'm married. When Xiao is pregnant, I will slowly reveal your existence. By then you will show more behavior and Xiao will accept you. Pregnancy is a woman's most vulnerable time. I can only say that this family is despicable. How can two mice raise a cat? John nodded, but his face was still upset. It is only right that she filializes us as a daughter-in-law. In our village, washing my feet and drinking my foot washing water is a matter of course. It'll take time. Take your time. Damn it. The marriage proposal will still cost a lot of money, won't it? It'll cost money to get married. If you'd made up your mind to get her pregnant earlier, where would it have been so much trouble? Humph. A marriage proposal. I laughed coldly in my heart. Who would dare to marry into his family? That's hilarious. Making up my mind, I told my best friend about Jason, and she was so angry that she had to call a van load of bakers on the spot to clean up the scoundrels. She watched me and Jason from start to finish, like a novel, and now it's like a die-hard fan is off her rocker and backpedaling. Pisses me off. How many people better than him pursued you in the beginning and you never wavered? And then this family turns out to be so disgusting. Xiao, I feel bad for you. I softly consoled and then asked for her help. After hearing my plan, she has gone from angry to excited. Xiao, you don't worry. I promise to complete the task. Still want to eat Jedi. Damn social climber. Humph. Jason's salary is all from the company. How much savings do the math I know? It would be better if his parents had a house and savings. I've spent a lot of money on him over the years, haven't I? I just want him to go back to his old ways. My girlfriend will report the result to me every day. What roses? What venue? What ring? What is expensive to ask for? In the past, my best friend and I would lower our standards, as we understood that he didn't have much money. But this time, Jason asked her what I would like, and my bestie went for the expensive stuff. Aw, this is a marriage proposal, the most important time for a girl. Do you still want to be perfunctory? You don't think Xiao doesn't deserve it, do you? Xiao can't afford anything. Can't we just let you choose something better? I thought you really loved Xiao, but I guess it's nothing more than that. If I were Xiao, my heart would be cold when I see what you've chosen. As for asking other friends, just kidding, these are nothing to their worth, and they'll even suggest more expensive ones. A few days down the road on a business trip, I was watching Jason in the video lose weight. The more money he spends and the more he invests, the more he can't let go. This is human nature. Of course John doesn't understand. He thinks it's obviously just a matter of a few $100s or tens of millions of dollars, and then getting a meal, but he has to make it so troublesome. How much money have you spent? It's not just a marriage proposal. Is that necessary? Didn't you say she loves you very much? So it's okay to not be married. Jason was even worse. For so many years, the only thing that sucked blood was him. All those gifts he bought were worthless. But he hadn't expected that a marriage proposal would cost so much. But could he say anything? Once he was in favor of it. According to John's nature, he was afraid it would ruin his plans. What do you know? Do you know how much Xiao's family's company is worth? Don't stare at this amount of money in front of you. If you ruin my plan and harm me for the rest of my life, don't blame me for disowning you. Jason looked at his own father with cold eyes. Of course I knew he was serious. Good, good. You've got your wings. I'd like to see how much you can count. John huffed and puffed, but his attitude had softened. How much money do you and my mom have left that I need to use? What? How much more of our money? How much more do you want? Anyway. When I saw this, I stopped reading and told my girlfriend she could keep it in check. You can't push someone too far. Or you'll see what's going on. As for the evidence, I've almost finished organizing it on my side, so I can end it. Haven't seen my mom in a few days. Still miss her. Jason was overjoyed to get the news that I was going back in 2 days and sped up the process, so it looked like I was going to propose on my end when I got back. I put on a mask beautifully and called the beautician to the door. Just kidding. Even if it is to say goodbye to the years-long dissection, I have to beautifully punch my face and be the big heroine, gaining sympathy with tears. I don't care. The day I went back I made a plane, and the one who came to pick me up was my best friend. Of course Jason asked for it. That stupid fool pretty much invited everyone he knew, acted as sociable as if the company was his at the scene, laughed so hard that the little lady died. I pinched her mouth. Okay. In a while you have to hold it in. Don't laugh out first. BFF nodded with an excited look on her face. It's the photography team I called. Guaranteed to shoot you just like the leading lady. From beginning to end. Absolutely not a second difference. If that Zhou guy wants to web bomb you, they'll let him know how bad it is to be web bombed. Thank you, baby. I love you. The car slowly drove in. I looked at it. Yo-ho. Not cheap more than 100,000 yuan. When I got out of the car, there was a red carpet, roses, music, and sunshine, and Jason was at the end of the carpet, in a suit. I took a deep breath. Before I found out his secret, this kind of proposal, I dreamed of countless times. With the forensics of all my friends and parents, I want to tell everyone that I love you. Emily, I want to marry you. I want to give you everything I have, even my life. Will you marry me? Get the microphone and bring it close to your mouth. I could almost see Jason's hands from excitement, could see the imperative on John's face. But the next moment, my cold voice traveled to every corner. Your life. A cheap life. A rotten life. What's there to want? Cocking my head, I enjoyed the nearly out-of-control expression on Jason's face. Xiao, what are you talking about? Don't joke around, okay? Chattering comments rang out from the surroundings, and Jason's forehead began to sweat. He wasn't a fool, and had already realized that something was wrong. Still forcing his composure, he raised the ring in his hand with difficulty. Xiao, this is what I bought for you specially. Marry me, okay? If you still want to play for 2 more years, I can wait. When you decide to enter into marriage, I can ask for it again. How romantic. How infatuated. But knowing the truth, I only felt that he treated me like a fool. I laughed coldly as my best friend pressed the toggle button at the same time, and instead of romantic photos on the big screen, there was a recording of the surveillance. The video was of him and those relatives in the company's intimate conversation. Those people outside respectfully, but into his office to sit on the couch, say there is no cat and mouse. Ghosts believe. At the same time, the video also thoughtfully explained his relationship with these people with text on the side. Then otherwise, tell me, what's all this about? The ones present are all human beings. They more or less know each other's family's situation. How can they not know what's going on? Jason could have that kind of mindset when he was a kid, and now of course he understands that I've found out about his relationship with Susan John. Xiao. Listen to my explanation. It's not like that. I do have parents. I shouldn't have lied to you, but it was only later that I realized their existence. I've always envied you and Auntie's relationship. How can I give up on my real parents? These people are my relatives. I just wanted the warmth of a family so badly. Jason knelt at my feet, holding his head with both hands and explaining painfully through tears. Just like a drama hero, he fell to his knees and raised his head to apologize. Xiao, I'm afraid I'll lose you after I tell you. My parents, unlike my aunt, can't give us any help. I have low self-esteem. With such good acting skills, I really think Jason going into dramas would be a good way out. What a show of weakness. Wouldn't it be just right to go be a duck? But the next moment, BFF hit the switch again. This time the video, without me having to say a word, turned his lie into a slap right into his face. Son, just let her get pregnant. Why should she buy for her mom and not me? Can't support her own family in the future. My daughter-in-law, drink my foot washing water. The characters are clear and the words are clearly audible. Including Susan accusing me of buying a car, including Jason changing my medication, and including Jason's words about breaking it off. Jason, tell me, how successful are you? How ruthless you are. Is this your love? Before you did all these things, did you think about me? Jason, we are never going to be together again. Break up. I slapped Jason's face with full force, and clear slap marks appeared on Jason's face immediately. You think I won't know about you starting a small company? I'm telling you, I'll sue you to death, Jason. Just you wait. Jason was completely flustered. He knew my character well, and once I opened my mouth, there was no more possibility. This marriage proposal almost emptied his savings. His job will never continue, and more horrifyingly, he is facing a lawsuit from Pizza Lawyer Group. Jason was finished for life. Along with his parents. Along with the relatives who once sold information to help him in the company. Xiao. I was wrong. I'm really wrong. Will you let me go? I disown them. I won't dare to do it again. Okay. They'll only recognize Auntie from now on. They'll pay all my salary. No questions asked. Xiao. For the sake of our relationship, don't do this to me. Slap another slap. This is symmetrical. Jason was blinded and started to slap his face well. I'm not human. My fault. It's me who's cheap. I'm the one who's sorry. What are you following? Zihang, you're a man. She should be the one to ask. Susan came just in time to see the scene, and immediately rushed over to protect the person behind herself. Xiao. It's fine for you to know. Anyway, you're engaged to my son, so you have to treat me like your mom from now on. Respect your elders. Before he could finish his words, John rushed over and slapped Jason, pulling Susan away again. What a good son you've given birth to. He said he disowned us. Only wants money, not mom and dad. What's the use of being born? No, it can't be. Susan shook her head frantically, still in disbelief. But no one cares about this farce anymore. These people understand that our Lin family will never be related to these three again. After a lifetime, they would never be able to touch themselves again. So what are they wasting their time here for? Don't go. Don't you guys go. I am the future head of Lincoln Enterprises. I'm Emily's husband. Don't you go. Emily, come back. Come back and we'll get married. Married. That's more like it. We got in the car and left the mess behind. Just as we reached the intersection, Jason came out after us and rushed over when he saw the car stop. Dash. Bang. The big car happened to pass in a straight line without seeing it, and Jason was loaded out 3 meters straight in his suit. The driver came down from the car with a panicked look on his face. I was driving normally. I didn't know he was going to come out. Susan and John arrive, screaming, crying, shirking responsibility, living a farce. Master, drive. The car starts. Mom looks at me appreciatively. Dash. You did a good job this time. In fact, I knew Jason wasn't right when I was in high school, but I didn't mention it. You'll face a lot of storms in the future. Jason's presence can test both your ability and emotional control. It's a challenge that can't be beat. The investment spent on him is worth nothing. And most importantly, my daughter, you're great. I hugged my mom's arm tightly. What if I hadn't realized and married him? Mom will tell you everything before we get married. At least Mom can cover for you for now. Jason was hit and suffered multiple fractures all over his body. Most importantly, the brain was injured, turning him into a complete fool. Although it was Jason's responsibility, the driver paid out some money out of humanitarianism. But that little bit of money was worthless for the compensation of the lawsuit. They came crying and begging for forgiveness, but they couldn't even see each other. The savings and the house were sold, and they had to go out to work part-time. As soon as my monthly salary arrives, I am compensated and have to work again to make ends meet. Everything that I once schemed to get, I will pay back again today. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to get out of this, but I'm sure I'll be able to get out of it. End.